Okay, when the narcissist breaks you. Now, I talked about the ghost of narcissistic abuse, the things that haunt you, the things that prevent you from taking chances, like opportunities that you have that you're hesitant to take because of the abuse you suffered, because of the narcissist. Like maybe, finding the perfect guy or girl and they're like, wow, wow, just be completely taken back, but being hesitant because it's like, no, 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 this can't be for real. I'm going to be hurt. Maybe, you even question if the person's a real person and assume you're getting catfished, like I recently did. And fortunately for me, she stuck by me during my accusations and questioning her, validity. And well, I'm patient with her because she she's been through a lot too. It makes me want to hold her and protect her and hunt down and hurt people. Which gonna which, huh? So, Lilith. So that's just one example, but it goes beyond that. That's the ghost of abuse. The ghosts of abuse prevent you from taking chances, for being in situations where it's like, wow, like this is what I've been looking for, but you're like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, because the last thing you want is to make your situation worse. Like maybe you're away from the abuser and you're not happy, but you're content, you're getting through the day, and you don't want to do anything that could disrupt your ability to get through the day. But we're not talking about that. That's just, to explain it. I'm talking about when the narcissist destroys you. And when I mean destroys you, I mean when you are not able to build the life you want, when the narcissist has messed with you for so long, has crippled you for so many years, has crippled you in so many ways that no matter what you do, it doesn't make a difference. You are locked into the fate that they chose for you because you are broken and nobody is willing to fix you, and you can't do it yourself, apparently. So in this situation, it's like, this is usually with narcissistic families or perhaps narcissistic marriages or long relationships with narcissists. This, video wouldn't apply to for someone who was with a narcissist for 6 months. So in this situation, and this is usually younger too, because they got to get you early for you to figure stuff out. This is why narcissistic parents are the most common in this one. The narcissist breaks you by making you doubt yourself, making you doubt your own intuition, your own abilities, what you're capable of, and what is possible for you. And then that prevents you from striving for things. They want to beat you down to where you only believe you are capable of what they say you're capable of, which is pleasing them, of course, because you're their property. Duh. So you won't take risks. You won't try for the things you want because you're convinced that there's no point. But you can break that. Even young at 18 when I did it, you can decide no. I don't, even if you're like, I don't know what narcissism is, I know this isn't right. I know I have to get away from this. This is what I want. I'm going for it all or nothing. And you could achieve it, like I did at 19 when I got hired as a firefighter the first time. I know I mentioned it a lot, but it's relevant. So the narcissist then, through their devious machinations, will rig that situation for you, will do everything in their power to take that away from you and convince you it's not worth trying again and just go along with the program. But it doesn't stop there. See, one fall isn't going to break you. It hurts, but you will get back up. It's when everything you do to get away from them, or anything that would give you purpose, or to not feel like a piece of shit loser who's contemplating suicide, is sabotaged in many different ways. Like they have my family. They'll call jobs and badmouth you. They'll, and they, even if the jobs aren't in their precious chest, they're kind of like, well, I'm gonna call the five. I know, yeah. They'll sabotage it. They'll try to strip it of all meaning and be like, well, you don't really want that. Yeah, that's not for you. Well, I said so. So, they'll try to bully you into following the path that they want you to take. They'll throw, I want to say potential love interests at you, but not really. Like people that you wouldn't be interested in, but they'll be like, oh, but that person really likes you and she's so hot and I can't trust her as far as I can throw her. It's like, wow, she wants you. I'm like, yeah, but she's already had everybody else. So things like that nature. Anything they can do to keep you trapped. Like whether it's, my mother tried to force me in a relationship with a, how do I want to tactfully say this for YouTube? With a girl with a very well-known reputation that she was proud of and was literally the oldest trick in the book to try to trap me. That way I'd stay a golf course superintendent and make 6 figures and work 7 days a week. And I can tell you how that would have ended. Okay, everybody figured it out by now. Anyway, so I didn't fall for the bait. And she did all she could. It says something, you know you're a demisexual when a hot stripper strips naked and jumps you, and you're like, no, I don't have any emotional attachment to you. You can't just, just because you're a redhead, you can't just strip naked and jump me. This isn't Game of Thrones, which is where she got the idea, because INFJ, Jon Snow INFJ. It's like, oh, so that's how you get those idiots. Yeah, only if they want you. So, things of that nature. They will sabotage you along the way and sabotage any planning that you have to get out. Because, to escape narcissism and to achieve your dreams too. It takes long-term planning for very few of us, and certainly not for those of us that are victims of abuse. We don't have luck. And we don't have INFJs, especially, right place at the right time. It's like, well, that's never, Yeah, it's like nothing has ever just fallen out of the sky, and I've been like, oh my God, this is like the best I could hope for. Where the hell did this come from? Except for the girl I'm currently talking to, and she won't tell me how she found me, but she did. And it's like, how'd this happen? There were times in our conversations where the thought crossed my mind. I'm like, this is a conjuration of my mind. I'm lying in a hospital. I'm lying in a hospital bed in a coma somewhere. This is my brain's coping mechanism. Like, this can't be real. And it's funny because she thinks she's not as awesome as she is, and thinks that I will push her away because of what she's been through. It's like, definitely not. No, you're like a dream come true. And, as far as understanding people that have been through abuse, it's kind of what this channel's all about. So, yes, no, you have nothing to fear from me, except if you don't give me a fair shot. And then I'll be like, was she even real? Why'd she do this? Anyway, back to my point. So, when this keeps happening with the narcissist and everything you strive for, you never get a shot at because, well, a lot of times because the narcissists have their circle of people and you're not in the club, so you'll thus be barred from that. Anything because it's reserved for people in the club. And then you'll start to doubt your abilities, and narcissists will make that worse. But, well, you can't you got to set up, and you just got to, you got to pick something now and stop. And stop wasting your time trying to get this, get that. And it's always the things that get you elsewhere. And even when, you're sabotaged in other ways or abused, like I was in both ways at Arlington the second go around. I was bullied and hazed and faced retaliation. My family defended my abuser because they're like, well, it's the way it's supposed to be. And good old boys are that's the way it's supposed to be. His grandfather worked there. He can do whatever he wants. That's how dare you take them to court? You could make them look bad. If something's tradition, it doesn't matter who gets hurt. That's right by definition. And I'd be scared if I were you. If you expose their secrets, they'll have you killed. I'm like, yeah, sure, sure, still here. Yeah, someone did try to kill me, but nothing to do with them because it was 10 years ago when I got shot, and had nothing to do with Arlington. It had to do with a scumbag rich guy who thought he owned people and thought he could do whatever he wanted. I'm still here, but why? All right, trying to lighten this up a little bit. Right. So the narcissist will defend other abusers that you've come across. Anything they can do to sabotage you, to make you more subservient, to make you give up. I finally reached my crescendo moment. But here's how they break you. Because after years and years and years of this, you will get knocked down one time where you can't get up. And I'm almost there. I'm not down yet, but I'm dazed and staggering. And I know if I go down, that I can't get back up. Because for me, this has been going on since 2006. And in that time, I have, at any given moment, been fighting for something that would make my life better. And not one time did I ever get a fair shot at it. Not once. And at 90% of those cases, I did everything I was told to do and didn't get a fair shot, nor an explanation as to why. And a lot of the times I got vilified for pointing out corruption, narcissism, corruption, nepotism, cronyism, things of that nature. Yeah. Apparently in Chester County, if there's an abusive boss and they're abusing an employee and you point that out, you're the bad guy. I didn't know that. Even though I'm from here, I'm not culturally from here. You know what I'm saying? This culture doesn't. I'm the outsider. Yeah, I didn't know that, but that's apparently bosses can do whatever they want to whomever they want because they're the boss. Whatever they believe in the moment is truth. Can't get much more narcissistic than that. So that's what, in this situation, people who haven't been through this don't understand. Because, you could be in a situation like me where it's like, if I go down, I'm not getting up. And they go, oh, you gotta pick yourself up. It's just one battle. It's like, but it's not. Because when you get knocked down like this because of abuse, it's not about the latest battle. It's cumulative. They build. It's like concussions. Like each time you get a new one, it's worse. It's not about just the one you just had. It's like, no, I've been getting knocked down all the time for almost 20 years. Like I got some, serious brain damage here. Or heart attacks or what have you. It gets worse each time. And each time it happens, you're reminded of all the others. They all come back. That's why I didn't sleep last night. Because I'm terrified. Fine, I'll share. I'm terrified that I'm not that I'm this close to everything I've ever wanted, and I'm not going to get a chance at any of it because I'm not going to be able to get a fair shot at a decent job in New York, and thus, can't be in New York. Can't be with Dream Girl now, can I? Yeah. And it's funny because in this case, it's a job that people have been pushing me to go back into for years, and I did everything they said to do, and not only is it not getting me anywhere, but I can't even get anybody to be like, well, this is what you're missing, you got to do this. Everybody that I know in the business is like, oh, wow, that's so insightful. Yeah, that's not terrifying. That doesn't reek of you got to be in the club. And it's the 11th hour. Kinda. I'm out of here in July. Yeah. I've been working on this plan since December. Step by step. Not slacking, doing everything I was told, doing everything in my power that I can do. And let me use an analogy. This is how the narcissist will eventually get you to a point. And I'm going to use a firefighter analogy because I don't get to use those much. Picture a firefighter who's in a fire. Now, he's willing to risk his life to do his job, to help other people, like those of us that help people who have been through abuse. You're in the danger zone, the IDLH, you're fine with that. And, you know how to handle a narcissist, you know how to handle a fire, you have training, you know what to do. But there's things that you can't expect, and say that floor gives way. Well, now that firefighter's 4 floors down and pinned. Not panicking, you prepare for things like this. However, he's by himself, can't get himself out. And, people always say, well, wait to see what happens. Well, here's the thing with that firefighter. You only have so much air. No air, you die. And you wait and wait for someone to come get you. You push your EA button. People know you're in distress. You're waiting for the RIT team, the Rapid Intervention Team, to come get you. And all of a sudden, when your air tank gets to 25%, your face mask starts to vibrate. That's like to tell you that you're running low on air, that you need to get out, like that you barely got enough air to drag you out. Now the RIT team brings more air to you. But at this point, you're being told to sit tight and wait. Your face is vibrating. You know your air is running low. You try to stay as calm as you can. And we are taught things like box breathing and breathing techniques to conserve air. But that can only conserve it so long. Like, people don't understand with waiting. Time is a factor. No matter what your situation is, if you're told to wait, eventually you reach a point where you can't wait anymore. Like, I don't care what the situation is. If people keep pushing it back, there's going to be a day mentally where it's like, I can't anymore. Like, you can't make me wait for a day that never comes. And that's me. I'm, vibe alert. I don't know if anybody's coming. I know I can't get myself out. I'm pinned. I'm pinned in that air. I know I hit my distress button. People know that I'm, that I'm screwed. But, yeah. Don't know if help's coming. I know the air is going to run out. If the air runs out, I'm done. And it's a very bad feeling, because as abuse victims, a lot of us learn not to rely on anybody, to do everything ourselves, not to open up to people, not to lean on anybody, because we never had someone we could. That's what abuse teaches you, is trust no one. Trust no one. And you try to rebuild the best you can, but what happens, when despite everything that you've done on your own, and, people unbiased, like, yeah, you did everything right and this and that. It's like, yeah, but I have nothing to show for it. Well, and it turns out maybe the reality is that, to get where you need to be, it's something as simple as like somebody else picking up the thing that's pinning you to the floor in that burning building. But what if nobody comes? What if nobody comes? You can't do it on your own. You reach some situations where somebody has to give you some minor help. I'm not talking like handing you something on a silver platter, but like open a door, get somebody to talk to you, kind of thing. Acknowledge your existence. And without it, the narcissist wins. Because to get to where you want to be, to what you've worked for your whole life, to what you've done, everything you were told you had to do, cannot be obtained by yourself on your own merit. And you tried for so long because you couldn't trust anybody because of the narcissistic abuse. And you wasted so many of your best years, living a lie, living a life you hated because the narcissist convinced you that you had to, and it was the best you had to hope for. But even after you break free of that narcissist, or the narcissist dies, and you get out of that environment, and all this, and you try to help others, and you have somewhat of confidence in yourself, and you decide, no, I'm going to fight for what I want. I'm going to throw everything I have at it, and you get nowhere. It gets you nowhere. The narcissist wins. If even after overcoming it, if even after you overcome abuse, you're still trapped in the life that they wanted you to live all along, and at this point you don't even know why. It's not the mental conditioning, because it's not like, oh, I can't try, what's the point, I'm going to fail. It's like, you told me to do, yeah, I did all that, so, well, what do you mean? Yeah, like, well, what the problem is? Yeah, what do you do then? Can't tell you, but I'm living it.